It makes sense that for a movie that's as visually dazzling and colorfully vibrant as Barbie, I wore the black t-shirt. This is great. Let's start with the review. Greta Gerwig, the director of movies such as Lady Bird and Little Women, follows them up with a live-action Barbie movie that has been hyped up so much that I don't even think I need to introduce it to you guys. Everybody who has a smartphone or internet connections has been aware of the fact that this movie is about to come out. It's had so much buzz and so much PR around it, and everybody's been excited for it because it makes sense. Barbie is one of the biggest things to ever exist. It was huge when I was a kid. It's still pretty huge, and it's going to become big again thanks to this movie. It's been around as long as it has for a reason, and that's kind of what the movie is about as well. In this movie, you look at Barbie Land, where a lot of Barbies live, a lot of Kens live, and things seem to be going fine. However, one of those Barbies, played by Margot Robbie, starts to have some issues. It seems like she's not always consistently happy. She's having these very dark thoughts, and she's not being able to stand a certain way. Things are not working fine, and it turns out that she needs to go into the real world in order to find some answers and figure out what's going on, or it could affect things catastrophically. And so she sets out on a journey with a Ken, played by Ryan Gosling, and once they get to the real world, some stuff starts to happen, and now we have a movie that deals a lot with that legacy of Barbie. But I can't really go into what the movie deals with because it's not in the marketing. See, they have very clearly hidden a major chunk of the plot out of that, and I am not going to spoil it for anybody. There's a lot going on in this movie that I did not expect. And it led to a film that was incredibly surprising to watch in terms of not just the commentary that it's providing, but how much it takes the idea of something fun and simple like a Barbie movie, and it still is that. But it ends up being something much more thoughtful and something that I feel like could be somewhat important as well for young kids growing up, particularly young girls. Barbie is a movie that, at the end of the day, thanks to Gerwig and her partner Noah Baumbach's script, turns out to be something much more thoughtful, and it turns out to be a 2-hour commentary on things like the role of women in society, the legacy of Barbie over the years, the stereotypes that have come from her, or the changes that have come from her, and corporation consumerism. It turns into a huge debate on those things, while also still being incredibly funny and having some creative visuals and really just making the most of that canvas that's available to them. And the production design, especially, because of that, is remarkable, because it goes from the city cement blocks that we have to this visually dazzling world that they've created for Barbie that looks immaculate. And the way it's shot, the way the costume design is over there, the makeup effects, all of this is top-notch stuff. It's just wonderfully realized. Barbie Land is real. That's a real place. That's not CGI. That's incredibly remarkable, and it leads to some very visually creative moments as well that were just really, really well done. Some very nice toy homages as well. Like, there's a point where you'll see a character fall a certain way, and it's fallen in the same way as a Barbie doll or a Ken doll. I love that. Those are little details that really manage to make it all come through. I don't have much experience with Barbie dolls in real life. My friends had some, that's about it. That's the extent of it, but I did see them playing around with it that I know a few things about Barbie dolls. I feel like that's a thing. Like, at least if you've grown up as a kid, in the last 30 years or something like that, at least, you knew that there was someone who had a Barbie doll. It was like the thing. It also leads to some really great performances. Margot Robbie is, as usual, terrific. I think she is one of the best actors we have right now. And she continues to prove that in every project I've seen her in. Even if the projects aren't always perfect, she comes through and gives 110% to them, and I think she's phenomenal over here. Ryan Gosling as Ken is hilarious, and I really hope that he gets more comedic roles. I really wish we got that Nice Guys sequel. I really do, because I think he really killed it in that movie, and so to see him embrace that comedic side once again is really great. The supporting cast is so insane that I can't really start listing out the names because there's just too many to go off of, but they're all fantastic as well. There's also a narrator who is Helen Mirren. I'm not gonna say too much about her, but she has the funniest joke in the entire movie. It happens during one scene. I'm not gonna say what it is, but you'll hear it and it'll go, that's it, that's the joke, that's it, we got it, that's perfect right there. And it's written really, really well. Did I already mention that? I will again. I think it's fantastically crafted and very thoughtfully done. There is one issue that I have with it. I'll get into that a little bit later. It's a minor thing that, it doesn't really have much bearing on the entirety of the product, but I should mention, the rest of it, really, really well done stuff. Like I mentioned, the film has a lot of commentary, and even though I think it's a film that should be seen by a lot of kids, it is rated PG-13. It's also a film that I feel like will be very important for young kids. Like, I already made some note to this, but I say that because there is a lot of that in this movie. It turns out to be something that is very emotional as a result of it. There's a couple of moments where it sort of gives you the message, where what it's trying to do, and it's kind of that thing where it sort of spells it out just in case you didn't get the commentary it's going for, which is somewhat hard because it's very blatantly obvious. But I thought it was a moment that worked really, really well and very effectively. Now, I mentioned there was one minor issue that I had, and that is the corporation storyline, mostly because the suits that are involved in it being led by Will Ferrell, after a while they don't really have much to do. There is one thing that comes out of it, but you don't necessarily need them for that. It just happens to be one of those things where you're happy it happens because it's like a profound moment, but you don't have to be there for that profound moment. I don't know. That was just my feeling on that, because it just becomes that subplot that becomes actually completely vanishes after a while, and it doesn't really come up again until much, much later. It's like, oh, remember that thing? And so, I don't know, make of that whatever you will. Like, they keep it focused on what is the actual plot line of the movie, which, like I said, I'm not going to go into too much. So yes, in the end, do I think Barbie's a great movie? I really do. I think Greta Gerwig is, she continues her winning streak. I think once again, she's pulled off something really, really special. And I hope you guys are checking it out this weekend. Of course you are. I don't have to say I hope you guys, because you are. This is a really fun movie. It's a very entertaining movie, and I hope you guys have fun. Like, that's all I'll say about that. I'm gonna give Barbie a 9 out of 10. Stellar stuff, man. Again, the winning streak of 2023 in cinema continues. It is a good time. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Look forward to more videos very soon. My review of Oppenheimer is already online, so make sure to check that out as well. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe. Thank you very much once again, and I will see you guys at the movies.